Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the homestead. It is a chilly 19 degrees this morning, and I am heading out to let the flock out of the coop and to give them some warm water. I guess with this heavy frost and the cold temperature, maybe I'll have to admit that cold weather has finally made its arrival here. I was kindly in denial for a while there, but I guess I'm going to have to just accept that it's here and move on. It's not that it is any problem. It's just that I'm not a big fan of the cold. I grew up north in Ohio, and I've had my years of the cold, and I thought maybe moving a little bit further south into Kentucky, it wouldn't be so bad. I was wrong. Let's get the chickens out of the coop, get their warm water, let them start their day, and then I will start my day. Babies, how are you this morning? You ready to come out and start your day? Yeah? You may not want to come out once you feel what's going on out here. It'll be a little bit cold on the feet this morning. We got a heavy frost. Come on, big boy. You're causing gridlock here. Come on. Come on, babies. Come on. Come on. You don't like the idea of being separated from your hands, I know. That's why I did that. There you go. Do you need any food? Do you need some food? No, I better do it. Need some more water? Huh? Get this thing to close today. Didn't want to yesterday. There we go. Need some water? some more. Are your feet cold, honey? I imagine so. Poor little crippled toes. Okay, I got the flock set up. Let me get my glove on just a second here. I've got the flock ready for the day. They've got warm water. They've got food. They've had their cracked corn. They're very happy about that. They really like their cracked corn. I think they like their cracked corn more than they do their mealworms, and that's very unusual. So I'm going to head inside, get warmed up, and get me and Chiggy some breakfast, get a little bit of work done for the clients, and then see where the rest of the day takes us. I'm pretty sure the day is going to take us in the direction of canning up beef bone broth. I'd let it simmer for about a day and a half, and I put it in the fridge yesterday, and I think that's where the day is headed, is the bone broth. So let's get inside out of this nice chilly weather and get warmed up. On the menu today is nice, warm, filling oatmeal. Me and Chiggy eat this a lot. It fills you up, it's economical, and we both really like it. Well, he takes spells where he likes it and spells where he doesn't. So I'm gonna try and get that started here. And hi, Chiggy, did you roll out, honey? Did you finally roll out? He's a good boy. He's been underneath the covers this morning. Tracy left the heated blanket on. He's been enjoying it, and there he is off back. He just came to see what I was doing. He keeps an eye on me. He's back under the covers. So I usually fix half a cup, and I split it between us. He doesn't eat a whole bit. He might eat just under a quarter of a cup. And a quarter of a cup is plenty for me. So I'm going to get that started. I'm going to need to try and clean my bean broth, my pot where I simmered my broth. It's going to be difficult to clean because it's all got a lot of grease in it, but I'll do the best I can. I'll have to scour it. So I'm going to turn the heat on the oatmeal. Wait for that to start boiling, and while I'm waiting for that, I'll put everything that we like in it over here in this bowl. I use Splenda with a little bit of cinnamon. Preferably when I don't drop the stuff on the floor. To get clean ones now. And a little bit of cinnamon. And some of my dehydrated apples that I dehydrated myself. I think I've only got a couple quarts left of these, and I have a Peck bag down there I really need to get dehydrated and put up. I go through these a lot when I eat my oatmeal. I prefer using either Golden Delicious or John of Gold. That's also what I use whenever I can them up. And these particular ones are John of Gold because our Golden Delicious haven't been looking very golden and delicious this year where we purchased them from. So I just stuck with John of Gold. I like to branch out into some other varieties, but those are the only two I know anything about. So if you have any suggestion on other really good varieties to dehydrate and to can, please leave them in the comment section below. I would appreciate it. I'm kind of a novice when it comes to apples. I'll eat just about any kind of apple, but I prefer the sweeter ones. And then when I can them, they get and dehydrate them, they increase the sweet flavor. So that's why I go with John of Gold and Golden Delicious. My aunt likes wine sap whenever she makes pies, but I'm not sure what they're like when they're dehydrated and canned. You know, because I never use them. Don't even know if I've even ever tasted a wine sap in my life. So I'm kind of in the dark there. Once I got inside, I reevaluated where the day would take me. I'm going to write a couple articles for clients. And then I'm going to have to do some dishes because I didn't get my dishes done last night. So I need to get those done because I can't stand to do anything as far as canning or preserving in a kitchen that's in disarray. So I have to go through the process of cleaning and straightening the kitchen before I can even start to do any work. So I'm going to get that done after breakfast. Then I'm going to, I think I'm going to put either some apples or some celery on the dehydrator. I haven't decided which one yet. And then I will probably go ahead like I originally planned and get some of my bone broth put up. I won't be able to do it all in one canning. I had about, I'd say a gallon and a half of the broth. And my canner will only hold 8 or 9. I can't remember. I usually only put 8 in it, but it might hold 9. I don't know. So I'm going to do what I can of it. It might be a 2-canner kind of day. Just depends on how I feel after the first canner. So I'm going to go ahead and get our breakfast finished. Oatmeal, and I'm going to have toast with mine with some of my homemade pear butter I made last week. And get that out of the way and some writing out of the way and then go from there. Somebody finished eating his breakfast, wiped his mouth all over the couch, and is now enjoying a little sliver of sunshine that he found. What's your damage? Are your carbs kicking in? Huh? Are your carbs kicking in? What? What? Oh my goodness. Oh no. So I finished my lunch and I can't get the little stinker boy to come in and eat his lunch. He's out enjoying this sunshine laying out in the yard. He'll come in when he gets hungry. I've got my jars in my canner. I don't have my lid locked down. I just use it to heat my jars up. You need, if you're putting hot liquid into the jars need to be hot. And then when you put the jars into the canner, the water needs to be hot. So otherwise you'll experience thermal shock. So I got those heating up. I have started heating up my broth here. I've got it in 2 separate pots. I had too much for just the one pot. I've got 8 jars in my canner. I may have more than 8 jars here, but if I do, then I can just reheat it when I do the other canner. I have gathered my tools that I will use. I always put a towel down on my work surface for my jars. Again, you don't want to put hot jars on a cold surface. They will break and bust. It also helps minimize the mess because I tend to be messy when I fill my jars. I have a pot holder down to set my pot with my broth over here so I can just put it into my jars. It'll be a whole lot easier to handle. I've got my my lid lifter. My lid lifter. And I've got my lids over here in a pot on the stove, but I haven't turned them on yet. I will simmer them and warm them up. Even though they do say that you don't have to warm them anymore, I still warm them because I was having some failures. And I can't help but think it was due to not warming the lids, so I do warm them. I have my bowl, which will hold my funnel and my spoon. My ladle. Again, trying to minimize the mess. I do not have to worry about debubbling because it is a liquid, so I do not have my debubbler out. I will get my vinegar out when I get ready to start putting it into the jars, because you will need to remember to wipe your rims with vinegar with anything that has fat content. You don't want anything standing between your lid and your rim. If you don't wipe your end down and there's at least a little bit of fat there, you'll have a failure of the seal. And I don't want to go through all this and have all my seals fail. So I wipe down my rims of my jars really well. It also gives me a chance to check them again. I've checked them once, but I have been known to miss one. It happened on my last canning session. So I've got everything ready. I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting for the jars to warm up and the broth to get up to temperature, and then I'll get started. Our jars have been simmering in the canner for a little while now. And I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off. Woo. And those should be ready, more than ready. Our beef broth is simmering, and our lids are on a low simmer. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to tilt you down so you can get a better angle of what it is I'm doing. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. This is the smaller pot of the broth. And I always forget to mention that you will also want a lid lifter to take your jars out of here, because they will be very, very hot. Guess I'll take them out 3 at a time. I might be able to work fast enough with them. Need to get my lids transferred over here now. I have my lids in a pot where they simmered next to me here. Want to leave about a 1-inch head space. Looks like a piece of onion still in there. I'll have to. Didn't strain that too awfully well. That's okay. We'll get it. It'll keep showing up, and except for when I'm trying to get it. There we go. I got it. Okay. Get my vinegar over here. I always forget my vinegar. This is the one thing I seem to forget every time. I think I've got everything ready. Not so much. Put some vinegar on a paper towel. I soak it down pretty well. And then once you get your broth into your jar and your 1-inch headspace, wipe the rims and where the rings are at. Next, you'll apply your lid. And your ring. And your jar's fingertip tight. And into the canner that will go. As you can see, it's a very pretty color. Very pretty. Nice rich color. And you'll move on to the next one. Make sure to wipe your rims. That one needs a little bit more, just a skosh. That's good. It may not look like there's anything on your rim of your jar, but it's there. Don't think it isn't. Okay, I've got all 9 jars in the canner, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Let me set you over here. Try and give you a little bit better view of it all. I'm still learning how to work this camera this way. So, we're going to put the lid on. I did put a splash of white vinegar in there, just because of the type of city water that we have. It's not very conducive to much of anything. You can't drink it, that's for sure. Okay, I've got my lid on. I'm going to turn my temperature up to 8, and then high is what's on my stove. Then I'm going to let it come up, build up a steam. When it starts steaming out of this part here vigorously, and this bubble has popped up, I will start timing it for 10 minutes. Now, I don't know if you can tell on the video or not, but this here is vigorously steaming. So we're going to start our timer for 10 minutes. And we're going to let that steam like that for 10 minutes. And then we will come back and put the weight on it. And after the first vigorous jiggle, turn the heat down to medium. And then we will pressure the jars 20 minutes for pints and 25 for quarts, so mine will be 20 minutes. Okay, it's been long enough for it to cool, and since I let it set so long, I don't have to let the, usually I turn the lid and let it set a few minutes, but this has been setting a while because I had to help my aunt with something. So we're going to go ahead and take them out of the canner. To be quite honest, most of them have probably already popped. There may be a few that haven't. Yeah, there's a couple. Hopefully they will seal. If not, then I may be canning some meat this week. And there we have it. 8 jars of beef bone broth here and 1 jar there, and I've got 7 more jars to get ready to go in to use up the rest of this.